Liverpool are back after a 1-0 win over Manchester City over at Anfield to re-spark their season, of course. But are they realistic contenders? And can anybody stop the Gunners? We're going to take a look at that and more next. That's right, folks. Back to a prediction video today. We look forward to match day number something over in the Premier League, and we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new, where you been? Smash your subscribe button and bang it. All things Premier League related, Blackburn Rovers related, World Cup related, under one roof later this year. I'm down in the dumps here, a bit of going for a bit of the COVID, so I'm not my to be chopped, not 100% by a long chalk, of course. But we are into match number 11, of course. Maybe a bit of a catch up, of course, for games that were postponed about a month or so ago. But anyway, as we of course coming at you, Arsenal top of the table with Man City now suffering their first defeat. But who's going to catch up this weekend or this midweek? We'll take a look at all of it in a second. Of course, people shout the VIPs, they are the patrons, of course. But anyway, we are going to take a look at it. Here it comes. So here we go. Recap of the results this past weekend. So Brighton, they lost 2-0 to Brentford, of course. Big win for them. I went with a draw. Leicester, draw against Crystal Palace. Shit show there. He's on the brink. I think this week could be it if he doesn't get a result. I think they're up against Fulham. And speaking of Fulham, they drew with Bournemouth 2-2. I went with a 1-0. I did shite look. Wolves with a 1-0 win over Nottingham Forest. I went with a 1-1 draw. Spurs with a 2-0 win over Everton. I went with a 3-0. Chelsea 2-0 win over Villa. Got that one bang on point. Southampton 1, West Ham 1. Went with a away win myself. Arsenal with a 1-0 win over Leeds. I went with a 3-0. Manchester United 0, Newcastle 0, 3-1 of course. I went with a 1-0 win for Liverpool, but it was a 3-2 win. So it was, I went the other way, 3-2 win, but it was a 1-0. So not bad, but not great. We'll see how it looks in the prediction league in a second. Of course, this is the table right now. Arsenal 27 points on the board, 4 points clear. A bit of daylight now between themselves and Arsenal and Spurs. It's going to be a very, very tight race, though I think, and it could be an exciting one, and the same as is that race for the other fourth spot, which always seems to be the case. Down the foot, Forest, Leicester, Southampton going down as it stands, but that could all change this midweek. Let's have a little look at it, all of it, in a second, of course. Let's take a look. So let's take a little look at the Super Brew then, shall we? Let's hop on over. No, it's not this one. It's gone over to the Premier League predictor. Let's have a little look at it. Don't look at it too hard, because I did shit. I pretty much had an absolute clanger. But the Prodigy up there with 18 points. Well done for him, coming out on top. Greeny there in second spot, and Nicoli and Schniffer up there with 14. So well done to all of them for doing very, very well indeed. As for me, I'm looking for myself. Look at this. Hey, mate, what does that mean? A new Super Pro user. Wow, premium user. I am nowhere to be seen. Did I actually? There I am. I put 6.5. It's terrible. It's a terrible... yeah, terrible show. And of course, let's go move on to the actual leaderboard here, where I'm into 21st spot. I'm down a bunch. Down 4 spots. So Whitby's down here, 13 spots. That's a big drop there, as is Blue Orbit, down 10. Bukakake up 10 spots to number 12. Gunners up 9 spots to number 10. Greeny 6 spots to number 3. 37-7 and Costa remain where they are. In a very, very tight looking race for the top. In fact, it's a monster gap, actually. So let's sort that out, guys. Let's sort that out. I'm going to start this with a double match week, of course. And if you want to get involved, there's the link right here, cut4EPL Prem. It is free. Get amongst it. But we are talking about these games here, which of course kick all off on Tuesday, October the 18th, all the way through to Thursday, October the 20th. So we could jump in the deep end with Brighton against Forest, of course, the first game of the midweek games. Pitched 20 times since 2002, 8 wins for Brighton, 6 wins for Forest, and we've got 6 draws, of course. Brighton, though, just 1 win and 5 for them, 42% form up against the Forest side without a win in the last 7 games, 8% form for them heading into this. Last round over in Brighton, it was a 3-0 win for Brighton back in August 2016. That was in the Championship. Meanwhile, Brighton with a 2-0 loss to Brentford. They're back-to-back games now without a goal for them. Up against, of course, a Forest side who did lose to Wolves the other day. Of course, back-to-back games now. In fact, it's been a long, long time since they last scored. Or last one, anyway. The odds right here, 5-2 on is your Brighton, 50-4 is your draw, 6-1 is your away win. That's, of course, Forest. I'm back in Brighton, 2-1 win for them over Forest. I don't know. They've just rewarded Cooper with a new deal, but... oof, it could be an expensive relegation on the hands for Forest at the moment. Meanwhile, Crystal Palace up against Wolves. And now these two sides played 39 times in 1993. 16 wins for Palace, 15 wins for Wolves. 8 draws, of course. Palace, though, winning once of the last 6, 42% form for them right now up against the Wolves side, who have won twice of the last 6, 42% form. Still looking for a new manager. Last time round, they're over at Crystal Palace, a.k.a. Selhurst Park. 2-0 win it was for Palace back in November 2021. In fact, Palace had won 3 in the bounce, both home and away, against... against Wolves. In fact, the last 6 games between the two sides, there's been a winner. There's been a winner in every one of them, but the loser hasn't scored a goal. So we'll see about that this time, of course. Wolves with the 1-0 loss against Forest. But the odds for this game now, of course, Crystal Palace 65 for the victory, 25 is your away win, 11-5 is the draw. I'm back in Palace for the 2-0 win at home. Get back to winning ways. Next, of course, we have the leaders, Arsenal. They are taking on, or they will be taking on Manchester City, but I think this game has been rescheduled for some other time. Let me have a quick shufty and see where this game is now going to take place, if it's going to take place at all. I think because the Gunners are in action in Europa League makeup, so this game has actually been postponed to the 26th of April. But I'm not going to go over the stats on that one, but if it was to have taken place today, I would have went with a 3-2 win for Manchester City. But of course, we'll revisit that when it comes back around another time. But anyway, next, of course, is Bournemouth up against Southampton. Of course, Camacho over at the Vitality. Played each other 17 times, done 7-3 wins for Bournemouth, 10 wins for Southampton, 4 draws. Of course, Bournemouth are unbeaten in the last 6 games. Would you Adam and Eve it? Up against the Southampton side without a win in the last 5, 25% for them at that moment. Actually, Bournemouth, though, and that streak of games unbeaten, 4 of them have been draws, 2 of them have been wins. Last time around, though, over at Bournemouth, it was a 3-0 win for Southampton. It was in the FA Cup quarter-final stage back in March 2021. However, last time in the league was at Bournemouth. It was a 2-0 win for Southampton back in July 2020. The Saints, though, with the 1-1 draw against West Ham. Bournemouth with the 2-2 draw against Fulham most recently. But the odds here, 13-8 is your Bournemouth, 23 attendance draw, and 13-8 is the away win here. Back in, of course, a draw here, which could also mean kiboshing Husenhutl's contract this week. It could also be on the cards there. Next, of course, we have Brentford up against Chelsea. Of course, let's take a long look at this one coming at you at the Community Stadium. Played each other, according to my eyes, 6 times, done 13, 1 for Brentford, 4 for Chelsea, 1 draw. Brentford, though, 50% form, 1-2, lost 2 and drawn 2 of the last 6. Meanwhile, Chelsea, though, 5 wins on the spin, 92% form. It is the Graham Potter effects. Last time around, though, over at Brentford, it was a 2-2 win for Chelsea. That was an EFL Cup quarter-final stage back in December 2021. The last time played in the league, though, was a 1-win for Chelsea over at Brentford back in October 2021. Chelsea with a 2-0 win over Villa, back-to-back clean sheets, 4 clean sheets on the spin for them. Brighton, of course, lost to Brentford this weekend as well. The odds here, we have Brentford 50-4 for the victory, 10-7 on is your Chelsea, 40-5 is the draw. Going to go 2-1 win for Chelsea here, another 3 points in the bag, and I think Chelsea are in the mix here they're definitely contenders for top 4 with Potter at the helm. Newcastle United up against Everton, of course, coming at you this coming week, midweek. Played 55 times, 93, 21 wins for Newcastle, 23 wins for Everton, 11 draws. Newcastle unbeaten the last 5, 58% form for them right now. Everton, though, 1-2 lost 2 and drawn 2 over the last 6, 50% form for them. However, back-to-back defeats. Coming at you the last round over at St James's Park, it was a 3-1 win for Newcastle back in February 2022. Meanwhile, the Geordies with a 0-0 draw against Manchester United. Of course, Everton with that 2-0 loss to Tottenham. Of course, the odds here for this game we have, I'm looking for it. Can't really see it. There we are. 5-3 on is your Newcastle. 14-5 is your 90-4 is your away win here. Back in, of course, the Geordies. 2-0 win for them at home. 3 points back. Liverpool up against West Ham. Morale boosting victory it was against City, but of course up against West Ham now. Played just 55 times. So 93, 33 wins for Liverpool, 11 wins for West Ham, 11 draws of course. Liverpool, they're just 1 defeat past 6, 75% form for them right now. Up against the West Ham side, unbeaten the last 5, picked up 4 wins and a draw to boot. 75% form for them heading into the match. Last time around, though, at Anfield was a 1-0 win for Liverpool back in March 2022. Liverpool, though, with a 1-0 win over City. 7-1 win over the Rangers, don't forget. Meanwhile, Hammers with a 1-1 draw against Southampton. But the odds for this, we have West Ham 5-2 on for the victory, 4-1 is your draw, 6-1 is your away win. Of course, back in the bookies here with a Liverpool win, 3-1 win for them as well, to get themselves right back in the thick of things and maybe even challenge for top 5 right there. Here comes a bit of a zinger, though. It is Man United. It is, of course, Spurs. It is, of course, on Wednesday, October the 19th. Played each other 64 times, 93, 43 wins for Manchester United, 10 wins for Spurs, 11 draws, of course. United, though, just 1 defeat past 6, 75% form for them right now. Against the Spurs side, also 1 defeat past 6, 75% form for them as well. Last time around, over at Old Trafford, it was back in March 2022, it was a 3-2 win for Manchester United. Actually, Man United, 3 wins on the spin against Spurs in all competitions at all venues. In fact, just lost 1 loss of the last 6, and that was that 6-1 drubbing by Spurs at Old Trafford way back in October 2020. Spurs over the 2-0 win over Everton. Of course, Man United with a 0-0 draw against Newcastle. The odds here, we got United, that's Manchester United, of course, 7-5 for the victory, 9-5 is your away win, 5-2 is the draw. Back in, of course, a 2-2 thriller at the Miller thriller at Old Trafford. This coming midweek. And into the final two now is in Thursday, October the 20th. Could this be the final nail in the coffin for Stevie G as he goes to Fulham up against Marco Silva? Played 35 times, he's done 11 wins for Fulham, 13 wins for Villa, 11 draws, of course. Fulham, though, just 1 win in 5, 42% form for them right now. Up against the Villa side, also 1 win in 6, 42% form for them as well. Heading into this, last time around, they're over at Craven Cottage. It was a 3-0 win for Aston Villa back in September 2020. Meanwhile, Villa with a 2-0 loss against Chelsea. Fulham with a 2-2 draw against Bournemouth, of course, most recently. But the odds right here, right now, with Fulham at 90 to 10 for the victory, 23 to 10 is your draw, 64 is your away win. That's, of course, Aston Villa. I'm back in Fulham here with a 1-0 win for them at home at Craven Cottage, 3 points in the bag. And then wrapping another manager who it could actually be 3 managers sacked this week. Leicester City taking on Leeds United, coming at you over at King Power. Played each other 38 times since 1994, 18 wins for Leicester, 12 wins for Leeds. We've got 8 draws, of course. Leeds, though, winning, of course. I don't know. I haven't won in a long time. In fact, I haven't won in the last 6 games. But last time I played over at the King Powers and 1-0 win for Leicester. That's back in March 2022. Leicester with a 0-0 draw against Crystal Palace. Leeds with a 1-0 loss against Arsenal. The odds for this Badgerino, though, we have 65 as your Leicester, 21 to 10 as your away win, and 30 to 5 is the draw. And back in, of course, Leicester here, 2-0 win at the King Power, 3 points in the bag, and away we go. And if I'm right, this is what the table will look like. Arsenal will have a 1-point cushion, of course, but they haven't played. They would have lost this game, so that gap would not actually exist. It would still be as you were. Spurs could close in on them with a win, but of course they have only picked up a point. Chelsea, of course, big moves as well. But anyway, that's what I think. At the bottom would be Wolves, Leicester, and Forest going down at the moment. But of course, it could all change, and it could be completely well off the mark. But that is it. Be sure to get your own picks in. Cut for EPL Prem, and we go again, probably Thursday, with the next round of games, of course. So make sure you get involved with that. Of course, I'll see you soon. Smash your subscribe. See you soon, guys and gals, for the next.